everybody, it's Allie and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, October 8th, 2017. I just have to start out by saying that Kane and Lily are having the most mature divorce ever. These are two people who still so clearly love and respect each other, but they just can't move forward because of the circumstance. And even in telling the children this week that they were going through with the divorce, there was this sense of fairness between them. Like initially, Maddie kind of wanted to blame Lily and insinuated that her relationship with Jordan is part of the reason why she wanted to go through with the divorce. And then Charlie was wanting to blame Kane, saying that it's, Kane having this new family with Juliette that's contributing to the divorce, when in reality, it's all of the above. And the situation is really, I'm sure, quite unique in the fact that Maddie and Charlie are very aware of what's going on with Lily and Kane. They have an exceptionally full understanding of what has happened and what all of the components are that are factoring into this decision. I'm sure that many times the children are left in the dark on a divorce, not really knowing or understanding, what went wrong and why with their parents. But Lily did not blame Kane, even though she has had opportunities to. She didn't badmouth him to the children. Kane didn't blame Lily, and it was clear that both Lily and Kane didn't want the kids to do that either. So we're just left now with this air in the room with the Ashby family of just disappointment and sorrow. It was a really sad scene. This is obviously a family who loves each other, but at the same time, how do you go on being a family unit, the four of them, when the marriage is broken, the fundamental bond of the parents is broken? Kane kind of added this sense of finality to that scene by saying to Charlie, well, we had some great memories together, and Charlie just, replied, yeah, but no, we're not going to have any new memories. It really struck me. I thought that was one of the standout scenes and things that happened throughout the course of the week. It was very sad. And then Charlie had also this very sad encounter with Juliette at the athletic club. He bumps into her in the hallway and she's trying to be buddy-buddy with him, but the way he sees it, Juliette had an affair with his father that ruined their entire family. And Juliette tried to combat that a little bit by saying, well, Charlie, it's a little more complicated than that. And Charlie just doesn't see it that way. He storms off. She says to him, you know what, Charlie, you can hate me, but please don't hate this baby. I don't know why, but that line really tugged at my heartstrings. You can hate me, but please don't hate this baby. Because, if everything is on the up and up, it's true, there is another little human being to be considered here that everybody is putting a lot of negativity on. And in all of this, Kane and Juliette, we can say whatever we want about them, but the child is innocent. And yet at the same time, with the way that Y&R is making sure that Juliette is rubbing her belly in every scene, like rubbing it in all of our faces that she's pregnant, it makes me wonder if she's gonna like whip off a paternity or a pregnancy pad one of these days. Like we're just gonna see her open up one of these dresses and toss a pregnancy pad on the bed, or at the very least I wonder if she's going to reveal that there's more to the story than meets the eye, especially because in next week's preview preview, we see that Colin is back in town and he's meeting Juliette for the first time, meeting the woman who's carrying his grandchild for the first time. Now, if there is something going on with Juliette that is shady and something shady in regard to her pregnancy, Colin would be the perfect person to help us get to the bottom of it. Is anyone else noticing how Victoria seems way more concerned about Billy's betrayal of Phyllis than he is? It seems like every time we turn around, Victoria is telling Billy, no, Billy, don't get into Phyllis's computer again. It's just not worth it. It's not worth the risk. And then every time we turn around, he's saying, it's fine. I'm going to do it anyway. So, I mean, like, it's such a mixed message. I mean, like, she's insisting that Billy should stop hacking into Phyllis's computer, but he has no regard for this whatsoever. He's getting better at it, in fact. This week, he schedules a massage for Phyllis under the guise of, oh, you know, you just need to relax. You know, I scheduled you a massage. Go get it. Go get pampered. And then while she's subdued in her massage, he's grabbing her laptop and hacking away at it. It just, in my mind, is such, it's just so, it's so shady. It is such a betrayal. And I feel bad for her the way that she is getting duped here. He's sitting there in the athletic club and he's hacking away at her computer in public, and he finds the file that Jack has set as a trap for him. It's a memo that Jack wanted Billy to find, and in this memo it states that Jabot is going to be ramping up production on Jabot Jr. and cutting the men's line altogether, so that when Billy and Victoria find that, they're gonna think, oh, well, we could, if Jabot's going to cut their men's line, then we could pump up our men's line to fill an open market hole, make some money, save our business. So that's, it's a perfectly laid trap that Billy and Victoria are about ready to walk right into. In fact, Billy is suggesting to Victoria that they should just like dump all of their money into it. This is what's going to save our company. So, I mean, Brash and Sassy has financial troubles to begin with, and here they are now going to take the little few resources that they do have and throw it into a black hole, because, you know, in reality, Jabot is really ramping up their men's line, and they're probably going to crush Brash and Sassy, or at least if Jack gets his way, I suppose. But I thought the brilliant part of this story was the fact that Jack made the observation that Billy's, you know, might be motivated by the fact that all of this that's going on with stealing Phyllis's laptop and going forward with this men's line, it all kind of plays into Billy's mentality and his weaknesses, in that he likes a risk. Billy is someone who likes the gamble, and so this is playing perfectly into his personality type, although it's really going against Victoria's personality type. I mean, Billy's the gambler, Billy's the risk taker, the thrill seeker, but that's not who Victoria is, or at least it didn't used to be, right? She's had this, she's had another spell this week, the Victoria spell that we seem to still know absolutely nothing about. It just causes sort of slight changes in Victoria's personality. There was a great conversation, I think it was on Friday's show, between Phyllis and Victoria that started out very passive aggressive. Victoria comes up to Phyllis and is asking her to buy raffle tickets to the kids' haunted house fundraiser thing, and it ends with Victoria insinuating, very bluntly actually, that there's more going on between she and Billy than Phyllis knows about. You know, how do you know that we haven't been kissing over at Brash and Sassy? And Phyllis being in the position of having to say, because I trust Billy, when we know they were kissing. I mean, that's happened. So I mean, it's just making Phyllis look look even more foolish, and Victoria coming off much more aggressive and dominant. Victoria, like, fully declares to Phyllis that she intends to win Billy back, which is something that we haven't really seen Victoria say explicitly before. And you could see that Phyllis was bothered by it. Like, you know, Phyllis is trying to pretend like everything's okay and she trusts Billy and she has faith in their relationship, but Phyllis was shook. Victoria is making her intentions known. And here's what I'm trying to find out or figure out about Victoria. Like, I don't understand why she would even want to be with a man who would and could betray his lover in the way that she knows Billy is doing to Phyllis. Like, even Jack, who has more than enough reason to be resentful of Phyllis, can't stand to see Billy making a fool of her. I don't know why Victoria would want that for herself, and I don't know why it took Jack so long to want to bust it up. The Friday cliffhanger, Phyllis is sitting in the office with Jack going on about her relationship with Billy, and Jack just can't hold it in anymore. I don't know if it was out of him wanting revenge or out of him not wanting to see Phyllis get further duped, but he just tells her everything that he knows. Oh yeah, Phyllis, your precious boyfriend, the one who you trust so much, is the one who hacked the Jabot system. And guess what? He used your computer to do it. So, expect the fireworks next week. I don't know what Phyllis is going to do. I don't know if she's going to straight up confront Billy. I don't know if she's going to confront Victoria, but the truth is out, and I want to know if you guys think that Phyllis is she going to be able to handle it? Is she going to be able to move forward with a relationship with Billy? Do you think that Phyllis should forgive Billy for hacking her computer or hacking into Jabot using her computer? I think that's a perfect place for a poll question this week. YRChat.com. Do you think that Phyllis should forgive Billy for hacking Jabot using her computer, or do you think that should be the last straw? Is this a relationship that you think that should continue? Go to YRChat.com. I would love to hear all of your comments about Billy and Phyllis and the drama that's about to ensue. I think Jordan is going down. We were talking last week about characters who are newer to the show and who will or will not be sticking around. I think Jordan is on his way out, or at least on his way down, because Victoria has another spell this week and she lashes out at Hillary. And the thing is, did you notice that Victoria said to Jordan when he came in to try to break up their little argument, you know what, Jordan, you just wait because you could be next? To me, that sounds like foreshadowing. I mean, why else is Y&R pulling Lily into Brash and Sassy as an executive if not that the modeling career is going to be coming to an abrupt end? I mean, Victoria and Billy made the decision this week to bring Lily on and hire her to take Juliette's old position. It gives her, I mean, it's great. It gives her a purpose with the company even after Jordan is gone. And is it a coincidence, you guys, that Jordan told Hillary this week that he was out of town doing some other work in New York City at the same time that we know Krystal was in New York City? Thank goodness that Krystal, the girl I barely know, has been rescued. I mean, we've been on the hunt for this girl for months now. Thank goodness that she has been rescued and is safe. Alice orders the big goon Leon to bring Krystal back to Genoa City. Of course, Leon thinking that this has all been approved by the big boss, but Alice is really running an end run to bring Krystal back to Genoa City, to a location of Sharon's choosing. The location? The graveyard where Cassie is buried. I don't understand this. I find this very gruesome. I don't know why that Sharon would even suggest that. I mean, I get that they were trying to play on Alice's guilt toward what happened with Cassie, but it's kind of disrespectful. I mean, Mariah posing as Cassie's ghost, and then like soon after she told Alice that she was doing it, but it was just like, that was enough. It was enough for me. They didn't have to have this whole thing culminate in this, like, honestly very anticlimactic graveyard showdown. It wasn't working for me. It seemed forced. It seemed, I don't know, it just seemed like under dramatic, yet it was trying to be over dramatic. I don't know. Leon shows up and he brings Krystal to this graveyard, and there's just some light, just sort of almost goofy gun wrestling that goes on, and then the girl is safely back in Tessa's arms for a tearful reunion. Sorry, I can't give you that. I wasn't into it. I tried, but I just wasn't into it. It didn't ring true to me. It wasn't compelling to me. I was just glad that it was over. I'm like, okay, good, she's safe. But of course, that doesn't last long. I mean, they retrieve Krystal, but they also have to alert the police. So finally, someone calls Paul, brings in Paul to this situation. Paul, who should have really been involved in this all along, but you know, clearly the GCPD and the FBI they were not smart enough to figure this out. They needed Sharon and Marissa and Mariah and Tessa to figure out this mystery. But Paul comes in, and he is gonna need to take Krystal away. He's going to need to whisk her into witness protection so that she can testify against the bad guys later on down the road, which I'm sure we won't see on screen. I'm pretty sure Krystal's just gone now. But I liked the fact that they brought witness protection up, and I liked the fact that Paul had a moment where he was talking with Sharon about witness protection, and that of course they're both thinking of Dylan in this situation. This is, you know, very similar to what happened with Dylan, and I liked it because Y&R didn't have to acknowledge that, but they did. That's something that I think we as the audience were thinking and noting, and it would have been wrong if they wouldn't have brought up Dylan in that situation. So I was glad that they did. And witness protection is probably a far better fate than what ultimately becomes of Alice. So just as Alice is getting her redemption moment, talking to Sharon about going away and starting a new life, I guess Zach sets her up to be dealt with. I don't know if he was gonna have Leon kill her or what, but like Zach set her up to receive a few fake bundles of money I guess to keep her calm and to let her think she was gonna get away with it. But as soon as she tries to make a getaway, she jumps in her car and Leon jumps in the passenger side door. She realizes that the gig is up. She jumps out of her side and into traffic and into another car, which is presumably Zach, I'm assuming? I don't know. Zach could have just run her over outside of the car before she even got in, but there was this, it just seemed like chance that Leon hops in, she hops out, and then whack, she gets hit by a car that I'm assuming Zach was driving, and just like sheets of paper, like sheets of paper and a few measly 20s like floated into the night. As Alice meets her fate. I've tried really hard to be sad about that, but I'm watching it and I'm like, oh no, not Alice, not our beloved Alice. Oh, the humanity. I barely cared. But she at least survived for now. She's in the hospital. And I guess briefly though, honestly, because Scott and Sharon learn that Alice has gone to the hospital. They go to the hospital to try to question her, see if she's going to provide any information on who did this to her, and also who's behind the sex ring, which is something Sharon should have asked her while they were in the car together driving back to Genoa City. Sharon had ample opportunity to ask to ask Alice who was behind all of this, and she waited until after Alice got hit by a car to do it. So I don't know. Sharon and Scott go to the hospital to try to talk to her, and Alice has disappeared. She's mysteriously gone from her hospital bed, while we see as the audience that evil Zach is lurking in the hospital hallways. I'm so sick of him. I wish he would have gotten run over by a car, but I think that's coming. At the very least, it's good to know that Abby is starting to question her relationship with him. She has seen the flashes of his darker side that are alarming to her, and it's at least enough that she's putting on the brakes. But at the same time, Abby also doesn't want to believe that she's like maybe self-sabotaging a perfectly good relationship because she's had bad experiences in the past. But I mean, all is certainly going to be revealed, and I'm guessing that Abby will be finding out about Zach and who he really is right at the time when Melissa Ordway has her baby. It's becoming very obvious now. That Abby is pregnant. The more interesting thing than any of this, like Zach and sex ring storyline, is I would like to see a montage of Melissa Ordway's maternity journey as told behind file folders and briefcases and tables and plants, like potted plants. Now that Tessa's sister is safe and in witness protection, Tessa decides that now is the right time to fill Noah in on most of the details. Not all of the details, but most of them. And of course, Noah could not even be more understanding. Noah is like the sweetest guy in the world, and I think that Tessa knows that. I think that's precisely the reason why Tessa shut down Mariah's advances. It's like, you know, Mariah is always talking about not wanting to screw up her relationship with Devon, and that's kind of false, but I think that Tessa really does feel like she doesn't want to screw up her relationship with Noah. I mean, he is a great guy, and he's totally there for her. I mean, whereas Devon's loyalties, or not loyalties, but his romantic interest can be in question considering his ex-wife, but Noah is fully there for Tessa. He's fully Tessa's. Like, he doesn't have his eye on anyone else. There's no question about that. So he's just this really great guy, and I think that she doesn't want to let him go, and that's why she agrees to his suggestion to take their relationship to the next level. Noah asks her to move in with him this week, and she says yes, and I did not detect even a hint of hesitation in her voice, in her body language, nothing. I think that Tessa is fully interested and committed to her relationship with Noah. They're so happy about the fact that they're moving in together that they decide to celebrate it with a makeout session that Mariah walks in on. It is a messy situation. And last week I asked you guys in a poll question if you think that Mariah should just confess her feelings to Tessa. 63% of you said yes. Yes, she needs to tell Tessa what she's feeling. 37% saying no. And I think that most of the people who said no that commented seemed to feel sort of like how I felt, in that the timing's just not right now. I mean, because I understand that, you want to be honest with someone, you want to put it out there, but there just is a part of me that I'm putting myself in Mariah's shoes, and I think I probably wouldn't say anything. I think I would probably let Tessa have her relationship with Noah, and if that didn't work out, then that's probably when I would say something. But this is also a show, and we want the drama, so that's, I imagine, why the majority of people, also a part of the reason why the majority of people voted yes. And also just, that a lot of people are supporting this relationship, or a lot of Y&R chatters certainly are. Devon this week also had an interesting conversation with Mariah that I thought was kind of funny. He says to her, the conversation that I had with Kevin while he was in town kind of made me wonder if I might have some competition for your affection. And, Mariah was very taken back by this. I mean, the whole thing is like, no, I'm definitely not. I mean, like, I'm totally committed to you, Devon, and I'm definitely not thinking about dumping you and hooking up with my brother's girlfriend. The underground expansion is going great. Couldn't be better. So great, in fact, that Noah and Nick want to open up another location right away. So Noah mentions this to Victor, and lo and behold, Victor happens to have a property in a prime location that he could offer a lease to them for. This sounds like such a great idea, doesn't it, Noah? Noah is ready to leave. He doesn't see the harm in allowing Victor to help. He hasn't been down the same road that Nick has. But when Noah mentions this to Nick, Nick quickly sees the red flags and shoots down the idea. Nick says, hey, you know what? No thanks. We could just find a location for our business without strings attached, something that doesn't have Victor involved in it. There's really no reason to get involved with Victor. In fact, I'll just move some money over from my personal account, and we can just wait a minute. Where's all my money? This is weird. My checking account suddenly has a zero balance. What? You know what? I thought Nick took that pretty well. It really didn't seem to faze him terribly. The fact that, we're talking about, look, this is only one account, but we're probably talking about a couple $100,000 at least in his checking account, right? I mean, I think I would bat an eye at that. Like this week, it's funny because I got charged a subscription fee twice. Like, I have a monthly subscription fee for my website stuff, and for some reason it came through twice in the amount of $24.95, and I had like a complete meltdown over it. I don't know what I would do if a couple $100,000 just poof went missing. I'm like, well, I want my $24.95. How dare they? Oh. So Kevin is obviously behind this. Nick sees him at the athletic club, and Kevin cannot hide his disdain for Nick. They had this whole run-in when it came to Chloe, and so Nick kind of that at the very least piqued Nick's interest. Like, Kevin's in town, and what's he up to? And then Victor has to follow it up, shooting off his mouth about Nick's business venture, saying, you know what, son? One little slip and you could lose everything. Well, 2 + 2 = 4. Nick figures it out immediately that Victor's behind this. Kevin is the one that hacked it. I mean, it's just this is what happened to my money. I don't think, though, that Nick quite knows the extent of it yet. I mean, so far he's only realized that one of his bank accounts has been wiped. So what's he gonna do when one by one he realizes that they're all wiped out? Nikki continues to be defiant against Victor, even going so far this week as to say, I just wish he'd move on. I just wish that he would move on. Well, I wonder how Nikki would feel if Victor actually did move on. Because when Victor sat down next to Gloria at the bar this week, I thought to myself, ding, 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 here we have it. And you know what? I'm for it. Whether it's like a fake relationship to make Nikki and Jack jealous or a real relationship, I kind of think Victor and Gloria would be sort of fun. I mean, honestly, I thought that I saw a little bit of a twinkle in Victor's eyes when he was talking to Gloria. And maybe it was like the fact that these are two actors who really haven't worked together very much, and that was something sort of new and fresh for them, but I thought it really played. I mean, you probably, as an actor on a show, on a regular series, get used to working with certain people, and then all of a sudden, someone comes on who's maybe a little different, but who has a similar background to you. I mean, they both did Broadway, but I believe both Eric Braeden and Judith Chapman have done Broadway. I mean, I'm sure that, like, have they run in the same circles? Have they ever really worked together before? That could be exciting for them both, and I really thought it played. I think that Gloria could be the perfect person for Victor to get involved with. It would be great for the audience to see something a little different. It'd be great for making Nikki and Jack jealous. I don't know. Am I the only one that thought that was at least a little bit intriguing? What do you guys think? What do you think that Victor and Gloria would make a good couple? Dina confronts Graham about Ashley's suspicions, and she says to him, you know, Ashley says she called this retirement home in Boca and talked to a Mrs. Bloodworth. So who is this Mrs. Bloodworth, Graham? Well, Graham, of course, comes up with the easiest and most obvious explanation. She's my aunt. Sure, she's an aunt. Yeah. I mean, Graham manages to answer that question with Dina and to come out smelling like a rose in the process. He's got this aunt. She's someone who helped him and his mother when they were downtrodden and poor. And so now that he's come into some money, he's supporting her and helping someone who helped him and his family. And since Y&R has officially decided that Graham is a bad guy, he then turns around and has a phone call with this Mrs. Bloodworth, who we know is his mother and his partner in plotting, and he has this just really kind of devilish conversation with her where she is insisting that there must be revenge on Dina. This is their plot. This is their plan. Dina must pay. Dina ruined their family when Brent had an affair with her, and you know, like, I guess, you know, that Mrs. Bloodworth is implying that Brent really wanted to be with Dina, always had eyes for her, but Dina had stars in her eyes for bigger things, and so therefore she must pay. This man decades ago wanted someone else, not me, and so therefore, son, you have to go and enact revenge on my behalf. What kind of mother does that anyway? It's ridiculous. It's just, okay, fine. It's clear that Y&R has just decided on the direction. They flip-flopped and floundered on Graham for months, and now they've just decided this is where they're going. Okay. Okay, I'll just go with it. Mrs. Bloodworth is telling Graham that his mission is to turn Dina's children against her. That's part of the plan, part of the revenge. I just don't understand it. Because first of all, it doesn't feel consistent with what we've seen from Graham in the past. Like, Graham has not been trying to turn Jack and Ashley against Dina since he's been coming into town. Like, Graham really didn't give two hoots about, or I don't know did I say Jack and Ashley? Graham didn't give two hoots about Jack and Ashley until now. And, like, the other thing is, the relationship that Graham's mother wants him to ruin was already ruined. Jack and Ashley already had an estranged relationship with Dina. So why all of a sudden is the mission to break it apart after Graham has done nothing up until this point to prevent that that relationship from blossoming. Like, it's just, the relationship is better now that Dina's back in Genoa City and Graham is there. It's better, not worse. So I'm just confused. And I'm like, there's the added level of confusion that on Friday's show, Graham had a conversation with Ashley where he was encouraging her to make amends with her mother. So, like, either Graham is working some elaborate reverse psychology on Ashley, or he was defying his mother. Maybe Y&R will decide to turn him into a not so bad guy in the future. I don't know. He's delightfully smarmy though while he's doing it. I will say I still enjoy Graham very, very much. I love that he's like finding every opportunity to make subtle remarks to Ashley about her father. I don't know. So now that, since Graham knows that John Abbott, like, he knows who Ashley's father is not. But do you guys think that he's put together the pieces on who Ashley's father actually is? And that they're half siblings? I don't know. But part of me thinks that we're going to see some fireworks at Ashley's big party, though. Like, Ashley has been, out of the blue, given the Innovator of the Year award for the cosmetics industry. She's going to be honored at some sort of event, and then Jack is going to be throwing a big family dinner party for her. It's a big deal. This is an award that her father, in quotes, also received. This is Ashley following in her father's footsteps. This is, Ashley was always John's favorite, if Jack was always Dina's. So this is a huge deal for her. This is like just such an honor on so many levels, for her career, for her personal life, and for her to feel like she is doing things that would have made John proud. So it's gonna be a big dinner. It's gonna be a big event that Jack is throwing. Ravi's gonna be there as her date. Tracy's coming in from out of town. Everyone's gonna be there. Are we going to end up seeing Graham or his mother putting a plan into action to have Ashley's deepest secret exposed to everyone on one of the biggest and most important nights of her life? The best things are the ones that are hardest to get. That was our quote from last week. It was Kevin who said that to Mariah during their heart-to-heart about Tessa. He told her, don't go for the easy. Don't just go for the Javon. Don't just settle for what it is you don't want. Go for what you do want. It may be a harder path to take, but those do tend to be the most rewarding. I loved that line because that's always kind of a philosophy that I've tried to live by, that, sometimes it's just, if you're wondering what the right thing to do is, sometimes it's just whichever one's harder. That kind of has helped me in some situations to guide me along. So quite a few people guessed that was part of Kevin's advice. Congratulations to Sandra, T. Nicole, Heather, Henry, Jillian, Marion, Jamie, Ambreen, Tanya, and Diana. Very good job, you guys. That wasn't an easy one. I'm glad that you guys were kind of perked up for that too. Here's our quote for this week. I like this. It's a little bit magical, a little bit fantastical, but also not. A little bit realistic. Our quote is, "There are no unicorns, there are no fairies." I don't know, the idea of unicorns and fairies it just captured my imagination this week for one reason or another. But there are no unicorns, there are no fairies. Who do you think said that this week? If you think you know, you can go to yrchat.com to leave your guess, and if you get it right, I will give you your shout out on next week's Y&R Chat. Let's dig into your comments. Robbie at yrchat.com says, I'm back on the Ashley and Robbie train. That scene where she asked him to be her date was really sweet. I saw a little twinkle in Ashley's eyes. They are very cute. Robbie is very cute. I like his dry delivery. I do. I like the actor. I'm not sure I'm fully back on the Ashley and Robbie train yet. I still need to be convinced. I hopped off. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm willing to get back on if Y&R continues to show us sweet moments between them. Harper left me a voicemail saying, I'm just kind of in a lurch on what direction Graham's mother is wanting to take with getting revenge on Dina. I don't know if she's wanting him to kill Dina so that they can take all of her fortune, or is he wanting to bring the whole Abbott clan down? Harper left me that voicemail kind of midweek, but I think it's still relevant, even though it was kind of revealed that Graham's mother wants Dina to be estranged from her children. I think that cannot be the full plan. I mean, there's got to be more to it. And as Harper suggested, I wonder if they are kind of wanting to like torture Dina in the meantime until they decide to kill her for her fortune. Because the fact that she signed away her estate to Graham after her death has got to come into it somehow. That's a lot of money that I assume they're after. I kind of wish that we would be able to see Graham defy his mother and decide not to go through with it. I think that would be a good twist and a way that we could kind of keep Graham on and redeem him. But I'm with you, Harper. I want to know what the end game is here for what's her name, Mrs. Bloodworth. Does she have a first name, Myrna or something like that? I'm not sure. But I want to know what the end game is. I guess that's still to be revealed. Actually, Gary just left me a voicemail, and he had the same theory as I had about Ashley's big party being a way that that her paternity secret is going to come out. But I liked that Gary kind of added to that something I didn't think of, was the fact that Graham will probably make it seem like Dina is the one responsible for spilling the beans. So if everything comes out about Ashley's paternity at this big party, which I think is probably kind of obvious to everyone, there's got to be a way that Graham is going to pin it on Dina. So that's going to be kind of like, the completion of her having some isolation from her children. Graham has pinned those photos, essentially, that were taken of Jack and Nikki on Dina. So it looks like Dina's responsible for button up in that relationship. And then if Graham can make it look like Dina is the one that spilled the beans about Ashley's paternity, then yeah, her children really are going to be completely estranged from her. All you really had to do was not come back to Genoa City in order to make that happen. I mean, all you had to do was prevent from Dina from getting these relationships. It's just like, why repair the relationship only to destroy it like a month later? I don't know. It doesn't work for me. I like Graham, so I can't help myself. Actually, Connor also left me a voicemail this week with an interesting observation, saying that Graham is kind of showing some Adam-like tendencies. He's doing all of these sneaky, underhanded things, Connor says, but in a very brilliant way. Also, I find it weird that Adam was the black sheep of his family, and now, even though he doesn't have any blood connection, Graham is like the black sheep of the Abbotts. I really like that observation, Connor, because I think that would be a great direction to take Graham into the future. He's not like, he's not the full Abbott, I mean, he's not like blood related to Jack, but he is going to be related to Ashley, just like Adam was kind of this black sheep sort of related half brother to the Newman family. So I think that would be great if Graham kind of became a satellite to the Abbotts, maybe sometimes helping them, sometimes sparring with him. I think that would just be a great place to develop some story into 2018. Yeah, Graham does kind of have this insidious, yet sort of sneaky and brilliant way about him. Diana also left me a comment at yrchat.com saying, I would be worried if I was Ashley when Graham said to her, "You don't know what I'm capable of." I found it creepy. Also, the way the woman on the phone she's scary whenever she calls Dina a bitch. I mean, I agree, Diana. I do think that there's something to be feared from Graham and from his mother. That's why I just keep thinking about Harper's comment that there's got to be a more insidious plan that they're trying to get toward, and maybe just kind of torturing Dina, running her through the ringer, and embarrassing her publicly as much as possible until they get there. Let's see. Day 2018 on YouTube says the whole Jack and Nikki relationship just doesn't sit right with me at all. After what happened back in 2012, it doesn't make sense that Jack would jump into a relationship with Nikki, knowing that in Nikki's eyes he'll never measure up to Victor. Could that be why he's trying to go after brash and sassy as hard as he is? In some ways, this storyline is making Nikki seem dumb by being married to Victor and dating Jack, especially noting that there has been no mention of divorce from either side. How does Nikki think this will turn out? This is just her way of holding Victor on a leash in case things with Jack don't work out. No wonder where Victoria got it from. I really like that comment, Day. That's kind of, it's interesting, and that's how I feel too. I do wonder though if Nikki is kind of holding Jack on a leash to make Victor jealous, and then she'll just hop right back to Victor. The question is, why does Jack want to go along with it? Liz at yrchat.com left a great comment about the sex trafficking storyline, saying, while I'm happy to see that the sex ring storyline is finally coming to a close, I hope that the storyline will be resolved in a way that addresses some sort of legal justice for Zach and his cronies, as well as counseling and support for the women who were being trafficked. I'm getting a sense now that Krystal has been ushered off and we may never see her again. Krystal's rapid departure and Alice being hit by the car are quick ways to tie up loose ends, but I don't think it's a satisfying resolution to the viewers who've had to endure this uncomfortable storyline. Excellently put, Liz. I really agree. This has been a difficult storyline, both in subject matter and just in the way it's been handled and dragged out. And I wonder if everybody's kind of feeling that way. I've just heard so few positive comments about the whole thing. It is clear to me, and you've identified that, Liz, that what they're doing right now is wrapping this up quick. So they were like, we've been on this too long. Let's wrap it up. Krystal, bye-bye witness protection. And I just hope that we can resolve the thing with Zach next week. I mean, honestly, I don't even know if I want to see anything more about it. If they just decided to quick, gone, wrap it up, send Zach to jail, I'm fine with it. I just don't even want to see it anymore. Tina Cole at yrchat.com left a comment about the poll question from last week. Should Mariah confess her feelings to Tessa? Tina Cole says, Mariah should confess her feelings to Tessa. I do understand Mariah respecting the relationship between Noah and Tessa, but I see it as she tells Tessa the honest truth on how she's feeling and then allows Tessa to question her relationship with Noah and her own feelings if she even needs to. If Tessa says, sorry, I love what I have with Noah, then Mariah needs to respect that and try to move on. And I also just agree, for storyline purposes, I'd like to see Mariah feeling it out in the open and Noah with someone who we can truly root for. You know, I like that you said that, Tina Cole, because the other thing is, number one, we do like the drama. So, I mean, getting it out in the open would give us some drama. And I like also that you say you'd like to see Mariah feeling it out in the open and Noah with someone who we can truly root for, because I agree. I would like to see Mariah taking it out and really talking it through, and I'd like to see the reactions of other people as she's talking it through and like exploring this, as you say, out in the open. But also in a larger sense, I don't know that I root for Tessa. You know, you saying that, you know, with Noah, you want to see Noah with someone who we can root for, and yeah, I'm not sure that I root for Tessa. I think Tessa's fine, but you know, like Yeah, I mean, I think that I could see Noah with someone else. I would be okay seeing Noah with someone else. I think they're very cute. Again, Tessa is just, she's fine. She's not really compelling, though, to me. I mean, I like who she is and of herself. It's, you know, I think that I feel more driven by wanting to see more from Mariah. I want to see Mariah explore what she's feeling toward Tessa. But Tessa is just sort of like someone that we're projecting maybe feelings onto, and well, by we I mean me. Like, I just don't know that Tessa in of herself is all that compelling. So I would be perfectly fine if Mariah went and explored her relationship with Tessa while we get someone new for Noah. You know, actually, Gary also left me a comment at yrchat.com saying, are some of you out there still suspicious of Tessa, believing her to possibly be showing herself as a bad apple? Well, what you see is what you get, a heart of gold. I think that's part, you know, a heart of gold. It's not very compelling, like, right? A heart of gold does not make good drama. So maybe that is part of it. But I mentioned this comment because I do wonder if anybody out there is still a little suspicious of Tessa. We did have one little tidbit of a line this week when she was talking to Noah saying, you know what, I've been dealing with this thing with my sister. In doing so, I've done some things that I'm maybe not so proud of. Now, of course, we know that all of that applies to everything she did last week with kidnapping Alice and yada yada, but I also wonder if she was sort of referring back to some of the things that she that maybe she would have done to get her sister back prior to coming on to Genoa City. I wonder if that was a little bit of you know, a nod to us thinking that maybe Tessa was up to something, and those phone calls she was taking in the early days and all of that stuff. I don't know. See, that's the thing, is Y&R made a mistake by just bringing on this slew of characters, and I don't think they had motivations for them. I mean, you have to admit, Graham, Tessa, Juliette, Jordan, they could all go either way. They could all either be good or bad. There was not a clear motive for any of them from the beginning. And so now what we got is all of this suspicion, I'm not sure, and then they just decided to take them all in various directions. Some will be good, some will be bad. You know, whatever characters work, we'll keep them, and then the ones that don't work, we'll just make them bad and get rid of them. Kind of like, I don't know, that's sort of how I'm interpreting it now, and I think that was a mistake. Michael left me a voicemail early in the week, and he had a couple weeks ago had a theory about Juliette meeting an untimely death in the pool at the athletic club, and Michael thought it was interesting also that Charlie had that run-in with her this week where he noted that he was a former lifeguard. So I still am not ruling out the possibility that we are going to see somebody die. I mean, like, I feel like Y&R is just going, like, I think they know that they've kind of messed up a couple of these characters, and I do wonder if we're just going to see someone like Juliette get the axe and have a big old whodunit, which is something that if it is Juliette, Charlie could get pulled into. Kiki on YouTube left a great comment here saying, I was originally against Kane and Lily getting a divorce, but this week changed my mind. One, I would like to see Lily working as an executive, becoming a take charge woman, standing on her own 2 feet without a man. And two, I think Kane and Hillary could be off the charts hot. I would be open to Kane and Hillary. I mean, Hillary she's off the charts hot with pretty much anybody, I think. But I'd be open to it. Sure, why not? Daisy on Facebook says, is it me? Or is Hillary becoming the new voice of reason in Genoa City? I like this Hillary. So even though she's been ruthless in the past and maybe again, I like that she's becoming a voice of reason. I hope she continues to be this person. Hillary doesn't always have to be someone else's version of nice to show kindness. I really, though, would love to see Hillary leak that video of Juliette just to show that Kane is not the only liar in town. That needs to happen. Hillary does need to bring back up that video, or yeah, the video of Juliette. I would like to see that. Rose at yrchat.com says, the athletic club gym is so weird. Hillary is wandering around the gym floor in a towel. Billy is committing espionage on a red laptop on the gym floor. Are there no rules in this gym? Are there no locker rooms where one might get some privacy to commit crimes or to get changed? So odd. Yeah, I agree. I'll add to that too that Billy and Phyllis were kind of making out in the gym. That seemed a little appropriate. I mean, they were really kind of getting close and right there in front of everybody, which seemed weird. And yeah, I mean, the Hillary towel scene, can we talk about it? I mean, yeah, she just comes out in her towel, which she so easily could have changed. She did not need to come out in a towel to get her bottle of water. No, she just decided, that's just who she is. She just said, I'm wearing it, and it is nothing. And she just flashes Jordan a little something with her towel. I thought that was really I like stuff like that. I thought that was kind of a cool little scene. But yeah, somebody needs to, you know what it is? It's because Lily stopped managing the athletic club. The rules have just gone to hell. Oh, Marianne sent me a message. She had mentioned she watched a couple of NBC pilots this week. Marianne says Brave has the actress who played Marissa as a regular now. Law and Order True Crime about the Menendez brothers has the actor who played Luca as the oldest brother. Plus, Justin Hartley is still on NBC's This Is Us. NBC seems to be getting Y&R alums. You know what? I saw that the actor who played Luca was playing one of the Menendez brothers, and I keep thinking to myself, I've got to watch that show. I am so curious about that. I do love the actor, and I very much remember the Menendez brothers crime story, and it's something I would kind of like to go back and research, or at least get a kind of remember. So I do need to watch that. But I was so glad, by the way, Marianne, that you mentioned This Is Us, because you guys, I had a couple spare moments last Sunday night, and I said I'm gonna do it. You know, everybody's always telling me to watch This Is Us. Everybody says it's excellent, and so I did. I downloaded a couple episodes. I watched the first 2 episodes of This Is Us, and I have to say, first of all, I miss Justin Hartley. He is so good. I miss Adam. I mean, I tried to put it out of my mind and not mourn him too much, but then going back and seeing him on another show, I just miss that guy. He nailed it. He's such a great actor. He's so compelling. And the show is good. The show, I mean, there is just no doubt about it. It's a good show, but I have to say, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep watching, because the first 2 episodes I saw were sad. I mean, sometimes it was happy sad, but I didn't know, I guess, that the series is kind of a tearjerker, or I don't know. The first couple episodes, at least, were kind of a tearjerker, and I don't know, I'm so susceptible. I'm too empathetic, and I'll watch whatever I watch or whatever I see. I'm in it. I'm soaked in it, like a bathroom rug. I just soak it all in, and just parts of it that seemed sad already. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to keep doing this to myself. I don't need to be reminded that life can be sad. I sort of like watching things that are a little bit more escapism. I'm gonna give it another try. I'm probably gonna watch another 2 episodes tonight, and we'll see if I feel good at the end of the episodes, then I'll keep watching. But if I feel sad, then I might not. We'll see. Oh, okay. And then I also have to end on this comment from Gary. Gary called into my voicemail, and I really hope that this is okay to share, Gary, because I found it fascinating, and I think that the other Y&R chatters will too. Gary went to a taping of the 50th anniversary of the Carol Burnett show special. It was at CBS, and it was literally in a studio steps away from where Y&R records their show in their studio. So Gary was like a studio over from Y&R, and I just thought that was really cool because most of us don't live, you know, anywhere near where we would be able to go do something like that. But I just have this like almost cartoonish vision of Gary sitting in the audience for this Carol Burnett taping and then like eyeballing the door, seeing if maybe he could make a break for it and like bust into Genoa City Studios, like walk through Catherine's front door and just say, "I'm home." He said there was no way he could have snuck out though. They brought him in and out the same door, and it wouldn't have been possible to get over to the other studio, sneaking on to the Y&R lot. I thought that was fascinating. And another interesting tidbit, apparently Gary said that Carol Burnett was a huge All My Children fan, and that she spoke about being a fan of that show in her act quite a lot. I thought that was interesting too. I didn't know that. It's like sometimes I think people think that watching soaps is shameful in a way, or it has that kind of lesser than air about it, and I think that's just so cool that Carol Burnett actually liked soaps, talked about them. I'm not as familiar with the Carol Burnett show. You know, I'm a child of the 80s, so as you know, I loved her in Annie. I think she's beautiful and talented and just like incredibly hilarious. And I know little bits and pieces of her career, but you know, didn't follow her stand-up acts or anything like that. So I thought that was interesting, and I thought that the Y&R chatters would thought that was a really perfect kind of soap tie-in for the week. So thank you for sharing that. If anybody else has any other little sightings, soap sightings, or anything that's not related to the Y&R stories, or you know, some ways that you've interacted with Y&R outside of the show, I'd always love to hear them. And on a final soap related note, I am like stunned at how many packages of soap I shipped out this week. Last week I announced that I made 3 beautiful new Genoa City soaps. I think I might even still have a couple bars of those. I made a Chelsea and a Victoria and a Hillary, and I thought that instead of doing a soap giveaway, a soap for soap fans giveaway the way I usually do, I thought I would just offer to ship it for free to anyone within the US who wants one, and that applies to any of the soaps that I've got. I am just hoping to get them into the hands of as many people who want them as possible. I was just shocked at how many packages. I think I sent out dozens of packages. It was crazy this week, and so I hope that I've heard from a few people, and I hope that the people I haven't heard from also really enjoyed them. I really think that you will. So if you got your soap, yay! If you haven't got your soap yet, I am still going to offer to ship it to you for 1 more week, and I'll pay for it. So if you want to go to the website at genoacitysoap.com, I still have quite a variety of soaps left. So if you want to get those before they're gone and take advantage of the free shipping, go ahead and do that. And after that, I am not going to be making any new soaps for a while. I have just like some ideas of some things that I'd like to maybe do with the Y&R Chat website, and just some other things that I'd like to put some time into. So I think those are going to be the last soaps for the rest of the year if you guys want to get them. And then if you guys don't get them, not gonna lie, some of them are gonna become mine. And then we'll see where we are in 2018 with making up some new ones. So that's my soap update for the week, and this is my soap update for the week. I hope everybody has enjoyed it, and will be sure to leave me some comments. You can go to yrchat.com to tell me what you think about the show, vote in the polls, all that good stuff. Of course, you can find the Facebook and YouTube links from there, and you can call into my voicemail 309-588-4569. It is always such a pleasure to hear from you guys. I hope everybody is doing well, loving the show, and I'll be back next week to chat with you again about it. Okay, we'll see you next Sunday, everybody. Mwah! Bye!